This is Myra Elaine on the Buying Space channel. I am reading from the Torah. The Hebrew is on this side, the English is on this side. And there's something you should know about the Torah. When a lot of people say Torah, they think of Jewish writings, and they are, but they're also the first 5 books of the Old Testament: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And a lot of times people don't know that. And for those of you that are watch all the time, you know that. But I also like to make sure that the people coming in that are new, that maybe haven't watched any of my videos before, also understand that. The Greek Orthodox also call it the Pentateuch. Penna is the root for 5, so it's the first 5 books. So this book is a Torah book. It has the Torah in it, and then it has, beyond the first 5 books, well, that's still, there's other books in here. The book of Esther is in here. And then all kinds of things that you can read during certain events. The Omars or the feasts. There might be a bar mitzvah. Here's a morning service. I know there's a certain section that's recited for a Torah. See, all this is just straight Hebrew. This might be what they recite for the Torah. And a few songs in the back. This was given a gift for a bar mitzvah in April of 1962. I had another one of these that was quite broken up and well used. This one is very well preserved, and I'm fortunate to have it. So I am in Exodus 23. The Hebrew nation is being founded. They have escaped from Pharaoh in Egypt. And God used Moses to bring the 10 plagues upon Egypt. And Passover was the last plague, where the oldest sons in every family died, unless the blood of the lamb was put over the doorpost. And they've been out in the wilderness for 90 days, and then God is giving Moses the laws that they are to obey. The 10 commandments have been given, and 70 elders went to a place where God appeared as a cloud, and the rest of the law is being given. So last time I read, there was an angel that appeared, and this was a pre-earthly presence of Jesus Christ. This was Yahshua that appeared with them as an angel, and he's traveling with them and protecting them. So that's the last thing that happened. And we're going to start Exodus 23, verse 24, with the law. Thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do after their deeds, but thou shalt utterly overthrow them and completely break down their statutory images. So they're supposed to, as they are going through and taking what God has promised them, the Pentateuch, not the Pentateuch, the lament in the Holy Land, the Canaan, the land of Canaan, and they come across statues. They are to destroy those statues. And ye shall serve the Lord your God, and he will bless thy bread and thy water, and I will remove sickness from the midst of thee. So these are starting to go into the promises that God is making to Israel. There shall be none miscarrying her children, nor a barren woman in thy land. The number of thy days will make full. So you're going to have full life, and all of your children are going to be born and born healthy. My terror will I send before thee, and bring them confusion all to the people which thou shalt come, and make all thy enemies turn their back to thee. And I will send hornets before thee, and thou shalt drive out of the Hivite, the Canaanite, and the Hittite from before thee. So he's going to send a plague upon their enemies before they get there, so they will not be ready for battle. I will not drive them out from before thee in 1 year, lest the land become desolate, and the beasts of the field multiply against thee. When you leave an area, like in a ghost town, the nature, weeds, grass overgrows, things start to deteriorate because there's nobody there. Wild animals start habitating the shelters. So God is going to time it out right for them to come in to a well-preserved field, structures that are not decaying, and they won't have to deal with wildlife and plants taking over the area. So it's just, like room service. Welcome in. Little by little I will drive them out from before thee until thou be increased and canst possess the land. I will set thy bounds from the Red Sea to the sea of the Philistines, from sea to sea, and from the desert unto the river. For I will deliver unto your hands the inhabitants of the land, and thou shalt drive them out before thee. Thou shalt not make a covenant with them, nor their gods. They shall not dwell in thy land, lest they cause thee to sin against me, for thou mightst be led to serve their gods, and this would surely be a snare unto thee. I don't know how anyone that accepts the Old Testament as truth, which are Christians, Jews, and Islam, accept the Torah, the Old Testament, as law. How anyone could not know that Israel has been given this land, was promised this land by God. And the only way that they can lose this land, which they have, they've lost it over and over, and they've regained it and regained it, and the last time was in 1948, is by worshiping the gods of the other cultures in their midst. And it is their land. And it is, it says right here, I think it's ironic that the Free Palestine people say from sea to sea, because it says Red Sea into the sea of the Philistines, and from the desert into the river. I will deliver into your hand the inhabitants of the land, and thou shalt drive them out before thee. This has happened over and over. And it's going to continue to happen for anyone that goes against Israel, that attacks Israel. Israel was attacked on October 7th. There's still hostages, over 100 of them unaccounted for. God help them. I hope they will return someday, or at least their families find out what happened to them. It's so horrible to be attacked in the middle of the night like that. And, have your people killed and kidnapped and raped. I just can't imagine it. But God clearly says in the Torah that the Hebrews are the chosen people. And we need to honor that as Christians and be on the side of Israel. I don't know how, if you're a Christian, you can be pro-Palestine. I don't understand it. Maybe some of you that are could explain it to me in the chat, because Israel was attacked. But when they were a new nation, there were 6 nations, that were driven out of the land. There was just 3 of them mentioned in that part there. I think. But there are 3 others mentioned. The Assyrians aren't mentioned, which is weird. The Assyrians, the Egyptians, the Hittites, and Minoanites. Okay, I'm not pronouncing that 4th one correctly. Were pre-Canaanite societies, because there were societies before these. Well, it mentions the Hittites here, but the other 2 were not. I don't believe were pre-Canaanite societies, unless they're of a name that I'm not recognizing. So, yes, there were people in the land before Abraham came. And then once the Hebrews were bonded into slavery and were in Egypt for 400 years, people came back to that area. New people came into the area after that were, beyond the 4 original pre-Canaanite societies. So, yes, there were people there, and it is sad that they're being driven off. It's sad that the people in the Gaza Strip are being driven off. But the other Arab nations in the Middle East refused to take in the people that we now identify as Palestinians. They were their own people, and they turned their backs on them. The people in the West Bank and Gaza were not allowed to migrate to the other Arab countries. They turned them down flat, that they could not come in. So it wasn't really the Israelis that made Gaza like a reservation that was poorly supplied. The Arabs, the other people of Islam, took no sympathy towards their own people. And that created the situation as much as anything else. So don't ask Israel, ask Saudi Arabia, ask Iran, who has used the people in Gaza like a tool and supplied them with machinery to dig the tunnels, weapons, bombs, etc., to attack Israel. Ask them, what about the Palestinians? What about the people of Gaza? Their own people, and they didn't help them. They hurt them by using them to attack Israel. And that's really sad. It's the whole situation is really sad. But Israel is just protecting itself and taking what is God-given after they were attacked. And if I lose people over this, so be it. I'm reading from the Bible. These are the words of the Bible. You all have a wonderful and blessed day.